Alright, hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Peyton Sarton, and today I'm going to share with y'all how I was able to clear my skin from being covered in acne to looking not perfect, but getting there. And I am so excited to share this video with y'all. I have been wanting to film it for a while now because it's a subject that's near and dear to my heart. So let's go ahead and get into it. I grew up with skin that was pretty good, I would say. I didn't have a lot of pimples. I didn't have a lot of breakouts at all, really. It was definitely pretty smooth and it was pretty tame, especially in my teen years when my sister and like a lot of my friends were breaking out really badly. I would get a pimple here and there, and like sometimes I would get a breakout, but nothing crazy at all. I just didn't have bad skin and I didn't even have to think about it very much. So fast forward to my early 20s and I went through a bout of bad skin in college, and it got really, really bad actually, for me at least. And I had cystic acne and I had hormonal acne all over the bottom part of my chin here, and then the cystic acne would show up here. Not very much acne here. I do get acne sometimes when I get my brows done, and occasionally I would get a pimple there, but nothing too much. But in my early 20s in college, I went through about 6 months of pretty bad skin in terms of pimples just always being on my face. So I was going to get on Accutane. I did the spear and lactone route with my doctor. After a couple of months, I just realized I had increased anxiety, which is not something that I need at all because I definitely struggle with that already. And I also wasn't seeing much of a change in my skin from the spear and lactone. As I was getting off of the spear and lactone, I was trying to prepare myself to get onto Accutane. So I was already taking birth control, and for Accutane you have to have 2 forms of birth control. But what I wanted to do was switch to getting an IUD and then also do like the condom route, like you have to like promise to use condoms. My IUD had been the first way to protect from unwanted pregnancy, and then the second way would have been using the condoms, to be clear on that. So I got off of the birth control that I was on at the time, and I was gonna go in to get my IUD, but the second that I got off of that birth control, my acne basically cleared up. So I didn't want to do the Accutane anymore. I wouldn't say my skin was perfect, but it definitely like didn't have consistent pimples anymore, which was like what I was trying to get rid of in the first place. And for me, the least amount of medication I can take, especially when that medication is Accutane, I prefer to like avoid doing that as much as possible. Accutane is just really hard on your body, and I just didn't, it just wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was kind of gonna be out of necessity, obviously. So once my acne cleared that first time, I was about 21 and I was pretty happy about that. Okay, so fast forward to me moving out to Los Angeles. At this point, I am 22, 23 years old, and the acne came back bad. Actually, false. It started at 23. It got really, really bad at 24. So I'll put some photos here that I had sent to my mother when I was just like, you know what, I can't handle this anymore. And again, this is my own rating of it, because I don't, you know, some people's acne is gonna be worse than mine, some's gonna be better. But for me, it was an incredibly uncomfortable time in my life, and it made me very, very, very depressed. I'm not gonna say the acne fully made me depressed, because to be quite honest, I have issues, like I said, with anxiety and depression already, but it definitely did not help. I felt absolutely disgusting. I cried about it all the time, and I also felt guilty about caring so much, because like, you shouldn't care what people see on the outside, and like you can cover it up and all this other stuff, but I saw it all the time, and it just made me feel gross, and like I couldn't look at people in the eye, and it really messed with my confidence in the year 24 of my life, so when I was 24. And I remember that it kind of, I mean, contributed to that year being one of the worst years of my entire life, I think. And I don't want to be dramatic, but if you're a person that has bad acne, you know how this feels. I mean, for me, I could cover up the redness a lot, but you could still see like the big cyst on my cheeks. You could see all of this stuff on my chin, around my mouth, and like it's not ideal, and you feel gross, and it feels impossible to get rid of and impossible to take control of, because there's so many things out there and so many different media outlets, so many different bloggers, so many different skincare specialists telling you all these different things to do, and so it's kind of hard to figure out what will work for your skin. I remember definitely missing out on things that my friends were doing, because I would go home like in tears and not want to go out or go hang out on a Saturday with everybody because everyone was so cute and didn't have acne all over their face, and I did have acne all over my face, and I would just like look around at my friends who were so beautiful and just be like, I hate this. And like I didn't want to be like that again. Like I hated my skin, I hated my face, and I also didn't want to hate my skin and my face, and I felt guilty about hating them. And then I also felt stupid because I'd like be sitting there trying to leave and we're all having fun and everyone's like, why are you leaving? Like we can't even see it. It's not a big deal. Like you totally covered it up. And like it didn't matter what anyone else said. I felt it and I saw it and it was uncomfortable. And on top of all of this, and on top of how like bad it looks, a lot of the time cystic acne and stuff like that hurts really bad. Like it does not feel good on your face. Another thing that really made me feel uncomfortable is I'm a blogger for my job, and so for me it was always really awkward to meet people in person because I was always so nervous they were gonna think I was like ugly in person because of my skin, because usually you photograph in one, good light, two, I felt gross, and so I always was like smoothing my skin out wherever there was acne, not like the whole thing, but like if I had a zit right here I would definitely smooth it out or patch it over. And I was always so nervous that people were gonna be like, oh, she's like way uglier in person, or oh my god, she has so many zits, or oh, her skin sucks, or something like that. Like that's just me being, you know, mentally a little bit weak, but those kind of things happen. Those are the kind of thoughts you have when you're just like a person and you're dealing with something that you're really insecure about. I hated that about myself, that something like this could do that to me internally and make me just a completely different person. 2018, December 31st of 2018, a lot of my friends were going out to have fun for New Year's, and I was just so defeated. Instead of going out with my friends on New Year's of last year, I went into Corrective Skincare. I had run across their Instagram just while I was looking at skin stuff one day, and their before and afters were absolutely unbelievable. I had seen some of these before and afters, and I had my mom or someone was sending them, someone sent me them, and I was just like in awe. A lot of the before and afters, like the before photos on this Instagram, you know, in terms of number of zits and things like that, they had much more acne than I did, much more redness than I did, and they had it, you know, the after photos were them maybe 10 months later, and all of it was basically gone. So it took me a little while to like actually book an appointment, because I was just like, I just didn't want to get myself excited, and I didn't really honestly believe there was going to be any way to get rid of it, because I was just in a place where I was like, I feel like I've tried everything, and like what else are they going to do? So I just didn't really make an appointment to go into them, and I had a little bit of like a mental breakdown, so I ended up booking the appointment for New Year's Eve because I knew I wasn't going to go out. So I went in to Corrective Skincare. By the way, I did not like email them or anything like that. I did not try to get in there for free. I literally was just like on the phone with my mom crying, being like, I need to do something, because like, it's been over a year of me hating myself, and that's just like not healthy. I went in that evening, and the esthetician I was seeing, her name is Hannah. So we went in there, we talked about my skin, we did like the initial consult and the first treatment. She also is a person that has struggled with acne in her life, so she totally gets it. So it was nice to talk to somebody that like actually understood and knew enough about it. Like she's like obsessed with skincare, and she was telling me all these really interesting things. As she's doing the treatment on my skin and looking at my skin and trying to figure out what I need, she was like, well, why don't we work together to clear your skin, and we're gonna get this done in a couple of months, like I promise, and here's what we're gonna do. So basically the first couple of months I went in every 1.5 to 2 weeks in to see Hannah at Corrective Skincare, and we did a light peel every 1.5 to 2 weeks. So I will put their website down below in their list of services, so you can go look what the light peel entails. But basically she would like cleanse my skin, do a couple extractions. I got extractions every single time, especially in the beginning. They do not feel good, let me tell you, and then they get irritated obviously, but she never made them worse or anything, and I always liked getting them because she would do the extractions and then she would put the light peel on top. So light peel doesn't mean like a physical light, it's like just a light, like a not intense peel. So you leave the peel on, it's just like kind of this like white chalky looking stuff. I left it on each time for about 4 hours or so, longer if I could, and then you just wash it off. So we started with that in terms of treatment. Then she gave me a number of products that Corrective Skincare makes first we started with the Sensitive Skin Facial Shampoo, and I started using that because she could tell my skin was extra sensitive. It gets red really quickly. They have a number of different kinds of shampoos, but again, this is the one that worked for me after she looked at my skin pretty in depth. And then we did the glycol peel pads. I think they're the pH peel pads. She explained to me, which is something that I didn't really think of before, that exfoliation really is the key to getting rid of acne. And for me, when my whole face was inflamed with all this acne, I didn't want to put more acids on it and stuff because my face hurt and I didn't want to do that. The reason that it was explained to me to exfoliate properly is because dead skin cells build up on your skin, and that's the thing that clogs your pores. So if you aren't exfoliating those dead skin cells away, they're going to be clogging your pores, they're going to be causing more acne. So she gave me these specific peel pads, and in the beginning when I first started using them, I used them about 2 to 3 times a week depending on the sensitivity of my skin. So she was just like, kind of like, you know, figure out what works for you, but start 2 to 3 days a week and build up to trying to use them basically every day. So I did the cleanser, and then I would get out my peel pads and I would just rub them starting on my forehead, because this is where your skin is the thickest. Rub them all over my forehead like this, all around to where the darker spots were, and this is where kind of all my dark spots still are. I have a little makeup on right now because it's the middle of the day and I have to go work after this, but I do still have, like, you can kind of see a little dark spot there even with makeup on, and some dark spots all around here. I have a little bit of discoloration here, so I'd make sure I'd hit those places pretty hard with this peel pad. And when I say hit it hard, I mean just go over it a bunch of times. And then after the peel pad, I would use a very gentle hyaluronic moisturizer, and I use that morning and night. In the morning time, I would just dilute it with a little bit of water and put it on, and then at night I would use it without water. It calmed my skin, definitely calmed irritation, and moisturized my skin without clogging my pores. So I liked that product a lot too. Also, the thing that she put me on in the very beginning was a vitamin A spray, which is kind of like what she called nature's Accutane. So I would do 2 to 3 sprays every night for, I think it was 5 to 7 days, I believe. And then I would get off of the spray because it really does dry your skin out a lot. And I noticed that really helped. And she also said, you know, if you feel a breakout coming on, go ahead and use it again, because it'll just help you keep your skin dry enough to where all this oil isn't overproducing. Also, another product that I use, she gave me a little bit of benzoyl peroxide. It's a benzoyl peroxide cream. So I would take a tiny little dollop of it if I was breaking out in whatever areas I was breaking out in. On nights that I did not use the glycolic pad, I would take the benzoyl peroxide and just do the thinnest little layer on whatever I was breaking out, and I would wake up in the morning and it would be absolutely gone. With Corrective Skincare, it is important to check the dates of their products because they do make them like without any preservatives and stuff in them. So they do go bad, and for benzoyl peroxide especially, you should definitely check the expiration of all of that. But theirs in particular was helpful to me. I always like saw people using various products and being like, yeah, my zit was gone the next day, or everything was better, inflammation was better the next day, and like I never had that experience with the product until I started using that benzoyl peroxide. Actually was really the one product that I really was able to tell the next day that my zit had gone down or had been dried out or whatever. One thing I was told to be specific about is that when you use benzoyl peroxide, don't take like a glump of it and like put it in 1 dollop on your skin and leave it there and hope that it dries out that one zit, because it actually will burn your skin essentially if you put a bunch of it on one place. So make sure that you take a little tiny bit and rub it really thin and evenly over whatever area is affected to get the best result. After obviously the moisturizer, I would put on a sunscreen. I did not get my sunscreen from Corrective Skincare. They do carry Kula sunscreen there though, and I do like Kula sunscreen. I also like Supergoop sunscreen for my face. So I cleansed, I exfoliated, and then I would hydrate, and then on occasion I would, you know, use the vitamin A spray, and then also go in every 1.5 to 2 weeks, more like 2 weeks, for the light peel. So about, I would say 3 months in of doing all this stuff, there was a major change in my skin. I was definitely getting so much better. My skin was definitely smoothing out. I was breaking out much less, and I think it's because of the exfoliation probably. I stopped using the vitamin A spray. I don't really use that much anymore. After we moved on to phase 2, and that was getting rid of texture and clearing dark spots, we started incorporating the Dermal Infusion treatment into my treatment plan. So I would go in and get a Dermal Infusion treatment if I wasn't breaking out very bad, which is basically like a hydrofacial on steroids. And what they do at Corrective Skincare is they kind of tailor the treatment to your needs. So for me, I use the brightening treatment, and she'll just go over my skin, and basically it sucks like all the gross stuff out of your pores while at the same time exfoliating and inlaying a serum, the serum that they choose for you based on your skin type and what you need. I always do the brightening treatment. I go in about once or twice a month for a dermal, and then once or twice a month for a mini light peel if I'm starting to break out or something. I love those treatments, and I definitely leave with my skin feeling a lot brighter and a lot better. Now I have been trying other products and my skin has not been breaking out, but the second I try any kind of serum or moisturizer or anything like that that makes my skin break out, I immediately throw it away. I do not want any part of it. I'm not going down that road again. So the upkeep for my skin right now is I do switch out cleansers sometimes. I always go with a more sensitive skin cleanser. I do use Tula products quite regularly now. Their probiotic facial cleanser is really nice, and I never break out using that. I do try different products here and there. I've been trying products with CBD in them. I've been trying more anti-aging moisturizers, and I also have incorporated a vitamin C serum into my morning routine. But if anything ever happens with my skin, if I'm feeling like it's more red, if I'm feeling like I'm getting any zits, if I feel like I'm breaking out at all, if I feel like it's too dry, if I feel anything wrong with my skin, I always retreat back to my Corrective Skincare stuff just because I trust those products and I always have them with me when I travel and stuff like that. I usually use that cleanser for traveling because it's just really easy to carry around in my little travel size thing. And I know because it's for sensitive skin that like it doesn't matter what climate I'm in, it doesn't matter where I'm going, it doesn't matter if I'm in the city or in the country or in a tropical location, I trust that cleanser to get that job done. So I use that product a lot. Basically for me, no matter what products I'm using at this point, I always make sure to follow the steps that Hannah gave me, meaning always cleansing, double cleansing usually, so I'll take my makeup off first and then cleanse. So I do the cleanser, and then I always exfoliate my skin, and then I always moisturize my skin. And it always comes down to those 3 steps for me. Of course, making sure I'm eating healthy and doing all those other things, but nothing has ever helped me like doing those 3 things consistently with really good products and then going in for treatments regularly to get rid of all that acne. And I cannot say enough about Corrective Skincare. I'm not paid to talk about them. I just like rave about Corrective Skincare because there's something from the day I went in there to see Hannah. When I walked out that day, I still had as much acne on my skin as when I left. Basically, most of it was extracted, but I just left feeling like I think this is actually gonna work. And like I didn't want to get too excited about it. She made everything so simple and she was so straightforward, and we had a plan. So when I walked out that first day, I was like, I'm gonna get this under control. And it was just such a huge breath of fresh air. And I cannot say enough about Corrective Skincare. Like I said, I will leave their list of services down below so you can take a look at those and see if there's something near you if you are not here in LA that is similar to what they do at Corrective Skincare. One thing I also really like about them is they're just kind of like a no bullshit place. Like it's not like you go in there and you're having the full spa experience and you have the robe and all this stuff. No, it's built for people that just want to come in, get rid of their acne or treat aging or do it. Like if you're having a skin problem, they will help you with it. You go get it taken care of and then you leave and go to work or do whatever it is you gotta do. It's built for people that have like an actual life and don't need to like spend all this money every 2 weeks. It's definitely like a get shit done kind of place. They're going to clear your skin. They're going to help you with aging. And I honestly can't say enough about them because they truly have changed my entire life. And I feel like every other person who's made a skincare video when I say that, but it's so true. And I'm so happy with where I am with my skin right now. Of course, I still get zits sometimes. I definitely still get a lot of clogged pores here, but like I know how to fix them. I'm confident in my ability to fix them. And I don't have like 7 to 15 pimples on my face every single day. Like that was where I was at, and now my skin is just so much clearer. And I mean, I go around places sometimes without makeup on and I feel okay about that. Like it's last year, if you would have told me I'd be here right now with my skin looking clear and like good again, I just don't think I would have ever believed you. Like it was so miserable. So I hope this video can help any of you who are dealing with this kind of stuff. I know it feels dramatic to be so upset about it almost, but like I'm right there with you. Like I feel you. I feel you so hard. I mean, whew, I mean, the number of tears I shed over my face and my skin, it's just unbelievable. And especially at 24, like you expect that at 14, you do not expect that at 24 years old. So I hope this video was helpful for y'all. I hope it simplified a couple things. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to me babble on and on about my skin. And if you are suffering from bad skin right now, I promise there are solutions. Also, Corrective Skincare does sell their products online if that's something that you're interested in. Or again, you can just look at their products, see what the ingredients are, and see if there's something similar that you can buy online or something you can buy at a drugstore or Sephora or whatever. But I'll put all the links down below to all of the products that I do use and all of the services that I use from them right now, so you can find something similar where you are if you're not in LA. If you are in LA, they have two locations. There's one in the Valley, and then there's one in Santa Monica. I go to the Santa Monica one. So I kind of trust anybody there. Like I said, I go to Hannah, so if you want to go to her, you can request Hannah. She's the best. But anyways, I'm wishing all of you clear and beautiful skin, and I will see you guys in the next video.